want to call Midge and be like, have you practiced?
Do it.
Okay, let me see. Let's see if she picks up. Girl! What's happening, y'all? Welcome to Sports Are Fun. I'm your host, Kelley O'Hara.
I'm the personality hire, BJ Beckwith.
I'm Greydy Diaz, aka Mid-Range Mommy.
And today we have a special guest with us, JWS's very own social media manager. Please welcome Gab Basinski.
Yeah.
Okay, wow, I was supposed
said
to ask
that right.
before. Wow,
That was really
okay,
good.
great. Sometimes I get really nervous about
I feel
name
really close to
pronunciation.
you right now. I feel really
Gab
special.
Basinski.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm like such a big fan. I'm a little
Welcome.
starstruck right now.
Welcome to the couch.
I feel nervous.
Welcome to the stew.
Holy
be.
couch.
How we feeling?
We're feeling pretty stoked.
Yeah?
We're like really excited. You know, you guys are like such a high bar to like meet up to. Like I've been kind of sweating for a while.
You're here for a
Yeah.
reason.
I'm like, whoa.
You put your deodorant on this morning. There you
Oh,
go.
I hope
well,
so.
listen, you have your finger on the pulse of all things social media around women's sports. So who better to have on than you?
Stop. I could cry. Thank you so much.
And we're going to lean on you heavily today. So be ready.
Happily.
Thank you to everyone who is watching on YouTube, listening wherever you get your podcast. We have a great, big old fun week to talk about last week. We're going to get into, obviously, the NWSL. This was a big weekend in the NWSL. A lot of fun things happened. We're going to get into some comments I made last week. We're going to talk about the madness of the transfer portal, which is madness, truly.
It's wild.
And I have so many questions around this, so because I don't know much, which I'm going to be leaning on you, Greydy, and Gab. BJ, maybe.
Don't.
Just the rumors. Just the rumors.
Just rumors.
Yeah. PWHL expanding, and we're going to talk about just expansion in general in the domestic leagues here, and some fun WNBA group chat combos going on. But first, we need to address the teal elephant in the room.
They're kind of coming after you.
They kind of were, and I was like, guys, I'm joking. Like, I'm just like having fun with it, you know?
It's kind of fun to have beef though.
It is.
Like you're like not playing sports anymore, so you're kind of like, I want a little competition. Let me beef with the current right
Exactly,
now. I'm not
exactly.
actually playing, but like I'm living rent free in your head right now.
And you know what?
Yeah.
What?
Current loss.
Exactly.
We're in their
No,
heads.
I know.
You're
I
in
was
their
like,
heads.
I
I
was
think
like,
so.
did we do that? No, surely we're not
We
that
might have.
powerful.
You broke
but
the
maybe.
streak,
I
quote
know.
unquote.
Exactly. So Kansas City Current, their winning streak, which whether you're looking at it through regular season wins, which they were very much so touting last week, or just this 2025 season, their winning streak has been broken by the North Carolina Courage. This past weekend, they lost 3-2, gave up a goal, the winning goal to North Carolina in stoppage time.
Embarrassing. That's
You
tough.
hate to
Yeah,
see
it
it.
is.
Tough.
Yeah,
You
hate to
were
see
in
it,
their
but
head. They were
also-
thinking about your comments.
I know they
and
should have
that's
been.
fine.
They should have been more worried about Ashley Sanchez.
Yeah, they really should have been.
You know. Yeah, but to clarify, I do want to say that in hindsight, last week post the episode, I didn't even think about it until like social clips started to come out. I was like, oh, I can see why some people are like, wow, Kelley hates Kansas City because of the Vlaco comment and the teal washing comment,
Well,
right?
comments looked tough, but also they were real comments. They were great. They were fair. They were fair.
For sure. But to be clear, the Vlaco comment was specifically around him coaching me on the national team. I didn't even think about him as a club coach, which he has had a great career as a club coach. We'll be the first to say it. His record shows that. And then the teal washing, I'm going to double down.
Yeah.
No, we're going to triple down.
Oh, we got Greydy tripling
Because you're
down.
rent free, and we also won that bicker. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Exactly. So,
1-0, sports are fun.
but listen,
Correct.
I think what makes that's the thing. I'm like, one of the elements that makes sports fun is the banter, is the rivalry, is the fans bickering or going back and forth, you know? So it's like, is Sports Are Fun and Kansas City the new biggest rivalry in the NWSL?
Heard it here first.
Maybe.
I think so.
Maybe. But you know what? You're welcome. Because I do think that having that sort of, having those sorts of arguments, banter, whatever you want to call it, that fuels the rivalry. That fuels the fun. We had Kansas City fans in the comments riding for their team, and I'm like, good for you guys.
As they should.
Go
They should
for
back
it.
'em. They
You know?
should back 'em.
Yeah, tell me why I'm wrong. You
Yeah.
know, and I love it. So it's all good. We're all having fun here.
See you this week in the comments.
Exactly.
I
And
just
you know
think we
what?
won though, so
Yeah, exactly.
One up on us.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, but like again, winning streak's over. Nobody in the NWSL is unbeaten anymore. So that's fun, I
And
guess.
North Carolina got their first win of the season. which is
Wow, that was their
crazy.
first win.
First win.
Incredible.
And they broke a streak. I feel like that's kind of early in the season for someone to not be unbeaten. Like the Pride last year were unbeaten for a really long time, and Kansas City, like they were unbeaten throughout most of the season, and like we're like week 5.
For
We're
sure.
still we're still early in
Yeah.
this. So, like,
I
that's
do-
kind of crazy.
I do think last year there's only been a couple seasons where there were teams that went super long without being unbeaten. Has there ever been an unbeaten team that won the championship? Did North Carolina do that? I don't know. But anyway, rivalries. I think sports are fun versus Kansas City. Clearly a rivalry now. Come at us, teal. What do they call them? Teal wave, teal group, teal current,
cares?
teal fandom. I don't know. Somebody on my comment of teal washing. She said, "I smell the jealousy. Not a cute look for y'all, but it looks good for us. So thanks. We're loving our winning streak." And then like a little heart face emoji. Stay jealous. And then
Look at you now.
And then but then somebody underneath said, "Oh my God, this aged like milk." And then clearly the first person who made the comment said something like, came at her hard. The girl who said this aged like milk goes, "Oh my God, girl, no, I love the current. I was just making a joke. I was just making a joke that this was poor timing, LOLs." And then the girl goes, "Oof, no, my bad. I went way too hard on that comment. I'm sorry." You love to see it. You love people being like, "Oh, like, you know,
self-recognition.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, this okay.
Yeah,
we're
like,
gonna read it back in. I was having a bad day.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like, guys, let's all be, we're having fun, right? Sports are fun. It's all good. You love it.
The banter. A
Yeah,
little shit talk.
I
we're
loved
keeping it
that,
going.
and I like that she was like, "Ooh, my bad," I'm here for it. So it's all in good fun. Remember that. Another rivalry that went down this weekend. And in my opinion, this is a rivalry. So I'm curious your thoughts on this because you're a big Gotham fan.
Big Gotham fan.
Gotham versus Spirit. Gotham went down to the district and beat Spirit 3-0. Do you think that Spirit Gotham is a rivalry?
I want to start on so this weekend was like rivalries in general for the NWSL.
No, they just marketed this one game. This was the one rivalry game of the weekend.
Okay.
Which was Gotham
Empire
Spirit.
versus the district.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Which,
Empire
like,
Strikes Back.
East rivalry.
But is Empire? Oh, like Empire State of Mind.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just got there.
It's okay.
I knew there was a reason, but it's not Empire Strikes. It's not
Like,
Star
this
Wars.
is Star Wars. Like, everyone's got their lightsaber on these games.
Oh my God. So do you think that Spirit Gotham is a rivalry?
I wouldn't have said so last season, but I think after that semifinal game, that moving forward, yes, as a fan. Like, I think a lot of clips were trending and going viral before the game, being like, and a lot of, after Esther scored her PK against Audrey Kingsbury, like, a lot of people were like, finally, it took 5 people, but Gotham got one in on her. So I think now it's definitely a rivalry moving forward.
Okay. I agree. I think it for sure is, even before last year's game, but I think that last year's playoff game where Gotham went to Spirit won in PKs, that sent Spirit to the finals. I think that game cemented these two teams as rivals, in my opinion.
No, same.
And I think that I'm curious y'all's thoughts on like what makes a great rivalry. In my opinion, it's like you have to have the history there, the matchups that are like epic matchups, and that last year was an epic matchup. And then with not only was it was a game that went to PKs, right? There was a lot on the line. What happened within the game, the spice, the shit talking, like that to me creates and fuels the rivalry. And then I think that you have to have a fandom that wants to go back and forth with each other.
I also think proximity goes into it because I think also a good one in the league is San Diego versus Angel City.
I know, but have there been any great games there between them? Like there haven't been games of consequence. I think they've only faced each other in regular season.
Yeah.
But I agree. I do think that's like proximity lends to rivalry, but it doesn't necessarily create it. Like you have to have that history. And I do think that San Diego Angel City it'll just get stronger and stronger because your fans are so close. You can have fans travel, that sort of thing.
And they can kind of pick which team they want.
Yeah, and this is the first time they're doing this, at least marketing it.
Yeah.
Correct.
And I think it's good. I think
No,
that
I
you
think
want to like be fueling rivalries.
Yeah, they're doing Seattle and Portland, Angel City and Gotham, which I think is great. That
Yeah.
East-West Coast, which we love in different sports.
For sure.
So I love that they're doing that.
And I feel like there's competition between like NYC and Los Angeles.
Always, like forever.
Just in general,
Forever and
you know?
always.
Yeah.
Do you feel like players get hyped for these though? Because I feel like a good rivalry, the players have to be like Michigan, Ohio State. Like players are like crossing out M's in Ohio. They're like not doing anything. You know what I'm saying? Like they're going for blood. They'll be like, all right, if we lose to them, like our season is dead. Whereas I feel like in these rivalries, it's like if I lose to them, my season's not over. Like that doesn't ruin my career. So I feel like for a really good rivalry, I need players to be like really stoked before the game, being like, we're going for blood, we're going for necks, and like we're gonna rip off their shoes. And I feel like we haven't seen that yet though. Like they're not going after, like there's like kind of spice, but like for a big rivalry, I want kind of people going after each other.
Yeah, you want to see them buy in.
Yeah.
100%. But I think that in just knowing some things between or from the players on either side of the Gotham Spirit game this weekend, like they felt that.
They were going for
sure.
that. All right,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah,
I will
definitely.
say too, though, my favorite rivalries, just as a fan, are not just the teams. Like my favorite ones are like the storylines with the individual players. So like using Ashley Sanchez from this weekend, like a bunch of people were like, she's on her revenge tour against Flacco, and I just think like those rivalries are fun.
100%.
I just want to say the WNBA is also starting their own rivalry, but it's going to be a week worth of games, and they're creating some rivalries, but there definitely are some already, you know, New York versus Minnesota. So I love that these women's sports teams are creating that,
For
that
sure.
hype.
Exactly. And I think rivalries are what make sports so fun.
Yes.
And like that's why even just people being like, wow, she hates Kansas City. It's like, well, I don't hate Kansas City, but like if you want to talk that shit, then sure, like you can say that and we can go at it, you know?
And you're not going to sign their son's jersey. If
Oh my god. Yeah, that was, I guess it was like 3 strikes against me last episode.
Right.
Tough
Oh my
week.
God.
Tough week.
Tough week for Kelley. You know what? It's all good. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think the storylines, I think all that adds into it. And NWSL is doing a rivalry weekend in August. It's going to be all of like what is perceived as the true rivalries within the league
Do we know them all?
happening. Say that again.
What are they all?
I think it's like Washington, Gotham. I think it's San Diego, Angel City, Portland, Seattle. In my opinion, Portland, Seattle is the one rivalry within NWSL that is like very clearly there.
yeah.
That's been there for a while.
Exactly. And it's-
Cascadia Cup.
Exactly.
It's got a whole name.
Exactly.
yeah, it's
It's like in.
They named it.
They named it a while ago.
First
For
time.
Orlando, though, I would say their rivalry is Kansas City because they were
I
both
agree.
unbeaten last year and they're
Yeah.
both coming out strong this year. That's what I'm thinking.
I agree.
Those
well,
are like two
you
good
know
teams
what?
to play
Again,
against each other.
NWSL wants our opinion. They can have it. If not, they can leave
Even if
it.
they don't want it, they can have
We're
it.
going to give it. All right. Another thing that was in the soccer world going off on social was, and I didn't see this, and I'm going to rely on our personality hire and also well into all of the things happening on the internet. BJ Beckwith, Naomi Germa had her second appearance for Chelsea. And BJ, you mentioned some comments from fans about her play so far.
So basically, to start, it's the Revolutionary War. So
Yes, exactly.
it's British versus Americans on Twitter.
Thank God I told you the right war ahead of
I
time.
know.
Right.
You don't have to call me out like that. In the chat, I was like, guys, it's a civil war. And Kelley was like,
I think it's the revolutionary.
But anywho, Naomi came in. Chelsea lost, I think, 4-1. And
Correct.
people were blaming Naomi Germa for goals and just losing in general and kind of being like, she's $2 million fee. She hasn't lived up to it. She hasn't played a lot. And then when she came in, they got scored on and they're like, her fault.
Is it an overreaction? Because it's just her second game back, correct?
Listen,
1000%.
Chelsea hasn't beaten Barcelona to go to, this is for the Champions League final, right? This is Champions League play. So they're playing Barcelona, and Barcelona has been in the Champions League final, I don't even know, look it up, how many years in a row, right? So this has nothing to do, in my opinion, with Naomi
With
Germa.
one player
Yeah,
is crazy
exactly.
in a team
Like,
sport.
that's
Like, be for real.
Yeah. And also, these score lines, like, don't. Nobody. Naomi Germa is off the table for people to
No,
come with.
it's been
come for.
crazy.
No, but there have been a lot of people on the internet that have, rode for her, that do have her back,
Oh, for
which
sure.
I appreciate.
Yeah,
It's
all
like,
the
really,
Americans.
guys?
No, literally every American.
And all the
We're going back
Brits.
for that. We will go over there, take her back, and bring her back with us. Like, we want her in the NWSL. Like, we cried when she left. If you guys
Exactly.
aren't going to appreciate her, we want her.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
How-
you can't do this to us.
No, the
It's
fans
not her
were
fault.
so funny. They were taking videos of her of the game and being dissecting and being like, she stepped here, no one but covered her here. This was not her fault. Like
That's so
dissecting
messed
every
up.
single play of like when someone was like her fault, and they were like play by play being like, not her fault, not her fault, not her fault. She's perfect.
She is perfect.
Yeah.
She is out there, and we want her back. We'll go grab her.
Exactly.
It's a new team too. Like you've played 2 games. Like she isn't like making this. Like you have to vibe with a team. You have to get your step, and like that's unfair for them to be like, oh, it's her fault. Like
And she's coming back from an injury.
100%, exactly.
Like,
She also came in when they were already down.
Yeah.
So
What do
Hello.
you? Yeah, exactly. Score more goals, Chelsea.
Right.
There you
Defend a little
go.
bit when she's off the pitch, maybe.
Help our girl out.
Yeah.
Come on, sis. Like,
Yeah. So you should appreciate that transfer, Chelsea. And if you don't, we'll take her back immediately. Continuing on the topic for transfers, the NCAA transfer portal closed last Wednesday, which had over 1,500 players enter. So many moves here, but just to highlight a few. Olivia Miles to TCU, Tanaya Latson to South Carolina. UCLA lost their entire freshman class, and London Jones to USC, and finally Malaysia Fulwiley to LSU.
And I want to add a few more.
Let's hear it.
And I have them here. Cody McMahon from Ohio State to Ole Miss. Avery Howell leaving USC. Oluchi leaving Duke to go to Maryland, which is, she had a great run. She helped them get to the Elite Eight this year. Kiyomi Miller going from Rutgers to Penn State. Like, ooh, huh? And she's an incredible freshman. She's super talented, but she was also suspended from probably their biggest game of the season, which was against USC. So there was clearly something going on there,
Right.
which is why she left. But it was outrageous this year. The
Yeah.
transfer portal.
it was almost 30% of all players, of all D1 players. Almost 30% of players were in the portal. Like, that's insane.
Okay,
I mean,
have-
Arizona had what, 7 players leave?
yeah.
They had a coaching change, but Adia brought, I think, 3 players to SMU with her. But I mean, it's just so much movement.
Okay, let's first of all, I have so many questions.
Yes.
And thoughts. First of all, I think it's a cardinal sin, and that is pun intended, to transfer to a rivalry. Like,
If they're paying, though, if they're paying.
but
yeah.
is that not a thing anymore? Is college pride and being like, I've put on this jersey, I could never, as a Stanford player, go to a UCLA or USC. Could
Kelly,
never. Cal?
There's,
Absolutely
there's
not.
money involved now. NIL has made it that
So it doesn't matter.
it when there's money involved, it's not personal.
Yeah, it's just like,
business,
who's
baby.
paying?
Like, it's business. And
Wow.
we're seeing like a London Jones go from UCLA literally across the street to USC. That's insane to me. I feel like that's one of the craziest moves.
yeah.
So I guess it doesn't matter
No,
anymore.
so I guess my question is, do you? Well, it seems like NIL and this transfer portal has made it so that, to me, the thing that makes, like we just talked about, college sports so fun are the rivalries,
Yeah.
are your school pride, that you are like ride or die for your school, and it just doesn't seem like it exists anymore.
I think I'll be ride or die for whatever school's paying me, to be honest. It's like,
point.
all right, get in, get a bag. It's because it's also like, oh, they value me enough to pay this much for me to switch schools. Oh, okay. So like the school is kind of behind me. If they're behind me this much, all right, I'll pay. I'll take your check and I'll go play.
You know what though? Let's talk about that. So 1,500 players enter the player portal. So first of all, the player portal closes. That means no one else can enter it.
Correct.
How long was it open?
I don't know, a couple weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Started in March Madness, so it's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, like 4 weeks.
So once it closes,
weeks.
you don't have to have determined where you're going.
Mhm.
You just have to have entered it.
Yes.
If you enter the portal, can you go back to your school?
No, you technically relinquish your spot. Therefore, you give up essentially your scholarship.
Oh, you do?
It's up to them to decide if they want to take you back or give you the scholarship money
Okay.
back. You
Okay.
relinquish your spot. You no longer have a guaranteed spot at your school.
Okay.
when you enter the transfer portal.
So entering it, you're like betting on yourself that you will
Correct.
get picked up to go somewhere else.
Correct.
To me, 1,500 people.
That's a lot.
So people end up, do people end
The
up?
confidence is crazy.
Yeah, right. Good for these girls.
Absolutely.
Hat
But
off
it's
to
also
them.
scary. Like, I'm not entering the transfer portal unless I had those side talks already and
Right.
I know where I'm going.
100%.
And
no
some of them
way.
do. They have like
And they
no
do,
contacts.
right.
So they're like, oh, they enter and they're like, I know who I'm getting picked up by
Right.
tomorrow. Like, that's going to
Correct.
be easy. But a lot of them don't.
And have we ever
That's
seen
crazy.
somebody enter the transfer portal and end up going back to their school? Tail between their legs.
I think
wanna
so.
come back.
Yeah, I think
Really?
I think there have been.
Interesting.
But can we talk about how UConn only had one player enter the transfer portal?
Yeah, I mean, I think that to me, I'm like, UCLA entire freshman class into the transfer portal.
But do you think that's
Question marks.
just them trying to get more money, or is that like a school
I
coaching
think it could be
thing?
maybe they recruited somebody who's might take your spot.
All of them?
Not all of them. Not all of them. But I mean, some players want a bigger role. And,
Yeah.
you know, they realize, you know, this is not the space where, you know, I'm only scoring 7 points a game.
Right.
I'm trying to score 10 plus because
Right.
I'm trying to make it to the WNBA. I'm trying to get my stats up.
For
you know?
sure. Yeah.
With UConn, do you think that they're staying because of Gino, because of the culture? Like, why are they staying at these schools? Because, like, is he only recruiting so many people? And he's like, I see this role for you. He has it such defined. But, like, for them to stay is, like, crazy.
I
Only
mean, they
one
also
player.
just won a
Yeah,
national
why would you-
championship.
True.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to be there too.
Yeah, but, like,
I'm
UCLA
not
was
leaving.
close too, and they're all gone.
Right.
You know? Like, that's insane. Not like they were, like, out first round.
It has to be a product of environment and what
for
is
sure.
being created there. And I think that's set by, first of all, the coach, but then also the players and everyone who's involved in the program. So, and it
it's
sounds
either
like
you like it or you don't.
Yeah.
Like if you don't vibe with Gino, you're out. But my thing is, you know, to leave a coach like Dawn Staley, and you're going to Kim Mulkey, she's also going to hold you accountable. It's not going to be easy no
okay.
matter where you go.
So you're talking
in
about
that
full
situation,
Wiley.
for sure.
Who do you think? So you think transfer from UCLA to USC is worse than South Carolina to LSU?
Ooh, I think they're both pretty.
Ooh, do you think they're equal? Talk about rivalries.
Yes, I think they're both pretty even.
Okay, so you think that those two transfers were the most like
I think so, for sure.
No, Olivia Miles is the most shocking transfer.
You
to go
think?
to TCU? Like, okay, TCU did great. Like, but let's remember 2 seasons ago, TCU quite literally was having tryouts because they couldn't have a
I
team.
know.
Like, they didn't have players.
But listen, at Notre Dame, she was playing, you know, alongside Hannah. I think she wanted, you know, her time.
and I
She's
think
now
wants
gonna
to be
have.
the- she wants to
That's
shine.
now her team.
And
It's
as
her
much as
time to
they say there
shine.
wasn't beef there, I kind of think there might have been beef between the two.
Yeah,
if it was
they-
a result of
listen,
playing
they
time,
said
if
there
it was
wasn't beef, but
personalities.
who knows?
Y'all, I say a lot of things, you know.
Right.
But I
yeah, you
think
gotta,
she
you
was
gotta
like,
keep
all right.
the peace publicly, but
Yeah,
who
she was
knows
like,
what's happening.
gotta get out. And I think
Yeah.
she got out, and like, also like, that's crazy.
I mean,
to go
they
to
both
TCU.
play the same position too.
But, like,
So she wants more time with the Rock. I would too. I might be out too.
going
But
to
the TCU, probably not.
Yeah, all right.
Not gonna lie.
Okay.
I'm gonna miss you.
But she could be the star. Hey. So that's
oh
fair.
my god. Well, listen, I'm an old geezer when it comes to transfer portal and NIL because it did not exist, and I still, I can't wrap my head around it, and it's so, I don't know. There's just so many elements to it that I'm like, one, I just hope that these players are, students and athletes are getting the right kind of advice and like recommendations and are just being guided in the right way, because it seems like they're offered a lot of opportunity to make big decisions, and I hope that they're thinking through all of the elements of it.
Absolutely. And it's at the end of the day, like these are young adults. Like,
Right.
You know what I mean? So they're making very big decisions. So I just hope that they have the right teams around them,
Right.
you know, to help guide them, because this could change the trajectory of your career, especially if you want to go pro.
True.
It's not easy to make it to that next level. It's not even easy to stay in that next level. So this is now your time to really develop.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm all about like autonomy and ownership of your career and your success. And it's obviously giving them a lot of options in that. But you just hope that they are making the right decisions, and only time will tell. And like, there's so much to be learned and figure out in the NIL world. And we'll just sit back and watch it unfold. As these players seek new opportunities on the court, others are getting some on the ice with the announcement that the PWHL will be adding a team in Vancouver next year. This will be the league's 7th team, with the 8th team coming the following year. So I think this is great. The PWHL, shout out to the Sirens, our hometown team. What I like about this is that this league has been very intentional about where they have teams and how they expand. In going to the PWHL game this past season, when I did the puck drop, I was asking some questions of the, you know, I guess front office people that I was interacting with around just how the league's feeling, how it's going in terms of support and that sort of thing. And they were saying how the Canadian teams get incredible crowds up there. And obviously Canada has a really strong hockey culture. So it makes sense that you would have your next team be in Canada, be a Vancouver team. And so I think I'm like excited to see this league continue to expand intentionally, grow in the right way. And it sounds like in general, the fan base is like rabid for hockey, which is really fun.
They're growing 2 teams pretty quick. Like, they're only a 2-year-old. Like,
Right.
basically, like, already adding 2 teams within 4 years. Like, that's pretty crazy. And like, the fact that people are bought into this, they want to go to the games, and like the players make it fun too. Like I feel like the players are so like inviting and so inviting to people who may not know everything about hockey or who may not be big fans. They're like, no, come and become a fan. Like they're really opening up that environment.
For sure. And the Sirens game was so fun to go to.
They're so fun to go to.
Oh my God, yeah.
I will say I got to the pleasure of meeting someone at the U.S. Women's National game back in California a couple weeks ago who lives in Boston, and she's been like watching as this new NWSL team is coming, Boss Nation.
Wait, no, it's Boston Legacy?
Legacy.
It'll always be Boss Nation to me. But she was telling me about how the team is growing, and they've had like the community like vote for different things and like kind of be a part of that process of the new team. And she was like, it's so fun. This is the first time I've lived in a place where a new team is happening and like an expansion's happening, and how the community is already connected with the team, even though they don't even know the players. They don't know any of that stuff yet. But she was like, we get to see the growth, the start to finish, and they have been good about including the community that's going to support them. So I think that's just like something really cool.
Yeah, and I love that they included a lot of women, a lot of diverse women to help with the naming, the branding. I think that they were very intentional, and I love that for Boston. It's representative of what the city, what the state looks like, and I think it's only up from here.
But I will say, along your point of getting the community to contribute to the creation of what that fan base, what that team is going to be and stand for and all those things is a huge element to creating a super strong fan base. Like you have to include them, and teams, whether on the men's side or the women's side, who have done that and had the opportunity to, when you're an expansion team, you kind of are, yes, you have a hurdle of building out a team in an already established league, right? So the leg up is you have the opportunity to set the groundwork and lay the foundation to have a really strong fan base by including them in these decisions, getting their input and building it the way that the people who are going to be going to the games week in, week out want to see the team built. Yeah,
and this was honestly something I had never thought about because
it's huge.
I'm in New York, obviously, and so like I'm fortunate that there's leagues everywhere here and it's so easy to go to sports games. But this woman was like, yeah, we've never had this. And I just was like, oh, this is not something I thought about. Like, this would be cool to be a part of and like see. And when you sign players, you get to like be like a part of it. Like you feel like a coaching staff.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's I think that's a big element of like how you build and expand, if you're going to have a successful expansion team or not, specifically on the team branding, the fan base, the attendance, all those things. I'm curious, how many teams do y'all think is enough for NWSL?
Well, right now there's 14 teams?
There's 14 teams. There will be 16 in 2026 with the addition of Denver and Boss Nation / Legacy. Because Jessica Berman has said that the NWSL could be NFL size, so 32 teams.
That's a lot.
32 feels crazy. I think 20 or like between 20 and 24 could be sick because like then you can do separate divisions. Like you can do like West, East, and then like have their own playoffs and like pin them against each other too. And like that, so if we're talking about rivalries, that's going to be really fun if people like, all right, we have our set people that we're always playing. Like 20, keep it going. And like also like, let's open up more teams. Let's get them in more cities. Like, then we just get more fans. Like, as long as they can sustain this growth, let's grow it. Like, let's keep it going.
Okay, so you're for the growth.
Oh, not 32. 20 to 24 feels like feels chill.
That feels like the sweet spot.
32 slowly.
Yeah.
Right, like in maybe 15 to 20 years.
Yeah. But I also wouldn't want like a jump in 32 teams and then some teams are just like horrible. And you're like, okay.
Which happens in other sports.
For sure.
You see it all the time.
Yeah, I think 20 to 24 is a great number.
It's cash. Like, all right.
Yeah.
And like you can keep track of all of them too. Like, all right, tell me to like, name off every NFL team.
Yeah.
Gun to my head, I'm
do
done.
it.
I can't. I
couldn't do it. I mean,
do it.
that's for many reasons, but
like right now, the WNBA couldn't grow faster. I mean, there's
Yeah, that's another league that
there's
is expanding
13
rapidly.
teams now, 15 teams by 2026, and we have training camp the next 2 weeks, and there are going to be over 70 players that get cut.
Right.
But many of those players are league ready. So that's really tough. Like, I really do think we need some roster spots added in before we probably grow into some other markets right now. It's just a tough situation.
It is that was a big conversation. We were kind of on the flip side of expanding too quickly in the NWSL early days. We were concerned about the dilution of talent and if the level or the product on the field would stay high enough. So I agree. I think 13 teams is so few
Yeah.
for the WNBA.
And the
especially
WNBA has
based
been
on
around forever too. Like
Yeah.
they've been around since the 90s. Like they've
Right.
been here for a bit. So it's like, but now we're like seeing this growth. So it's like it has taken its time where it's like gone down. We've lost teams. Like the
Yes.
Cleveland team got cut. Like they're gone. Like we've seen teams change. Like we're going up through these waves. And so it's like now they're on a trajectory, but it's like you have to make it sustainable because like the last thing we want to see is like them go back down again. And we're like, all right, people don't care about this. And we're like, we've been fighting for this for a while.
No,
Like
for sure. I also think another thing that got announced last week, which I think will contribute to how you can expand in the NWSL specifically, is the Division II
Yes.
league in the NWSL. So they now are creating. NWSL applied for the ability to have a Division II league starting in 2026. So they had this deadline that they had to meet to apply. They were like, "We're doing it. We're putting it in." And right now, there aren't a lot of details that are known besides the fact that 8 teams will have a second division or a second tier team that will compete amongst themselves. And to me, this is great news for the league because the league desperately needs to figure out how to develop talent.
Especially their young players,
Correct.
which we've talked about.
Yes.
That young player on Gotham who's
Mac
how old is
Whitman.
she?
Yep,
She's
she's
14.
14.
14.
Right. The trend started a couple years ago. Honestly, Mallory Swanson was the first player to go to college and then quickly leave and come into the league, turn pro. I guess Lindsay Horan forewent college completely and went professional, didn't even go to college. But recent years, there's been a lot of players who are younger who have decided to either say no to college and
say no to high school.
Mm.
Apparently.
And
yeah,
say no
I
to high
don't even
school.
go to high
It's
school.
just getting younger.
Just
Not
me
really
too.
kid
I'm not
anymore.
interested.
Right, but
Right.
I'm here to play soccer.
the issue is, and which is exciting for them because there's talent, there's players that are good enough to be playing or at least training with professional teams, but giving them the opportunity to get more minutes by creating this Division II league is so necessary because so many players, my concern is so many players who either don't go to college or go to college, come out quickly, aren't going to be developed in the way that they need to be because they aren't getting game minutes. You can train, that's great, but game minutes to me are so important for the development of a player. And this Division II league will allow them that opportunity.
That's what we're seeing over in Europe, right? Like they
Right.
like have the academies they've been through and like they're having success over there. Like a lot of people are now going and playing in Europe. Like, so if we can do that here, do you think less players would go over and play in Europe?
I think that it just creates a better pipeline for younger players, right? If you're a younger player and you're like, I'm good enough to sign with the first team, but I'm not good enough to get minutes, I can be going and getting minutes with their Division II team. You know, like it's just, there's way more opportunity, again, for developing these players, which does not exist right now.
And I have
And they'll
2
get called up
questions.
too from time to time. I'm
Exactly.
sure.
Like, or you're like, okay, I'm a starter on the Division II team. I might get pulled into practice a couple times for the full
Right.
team, that sort of thing.
Yeah, my question is, so like, I know the NBA does this, like we saw with like LeBron's son, and he goes back and forth between the 2 leagues. Do you think like each of these level 2 tier teams will have a connecting to a top team?
Yeah, so they will. So next year, 8 NWSL teams have already announced that they will have a Division II team. By 2030, all clubs in the NWSL have to have a Division II team.
Okay.
So
And then, so do you think it'll be like that, where they can like,
100%.
if a roster spot, like injuries, like for
Yes.
example, then they can bring up from there directly? And there's
Yes.
no, okay.
That
cool.
that is my, again, I don't know if that's been put out there, but like that is the essence of what a second tier team does for a club, right? It
Mhm.
allows that transfer of players from
Yeah.
one level to the next.
And
And it also
when-
allows like the player to understand the ideology and like the playing style and approach that the head manager has. So you can basically teach your players.
They're not coached though. It'll be a different coach.
It'll be different
Yeah.
players or different coaches, but
Same
the coach will
philosophy.
set the yes, exactly. So yeah, I'm pumped on this. I think it'll be great.
And my last question is like this. I know we keep saying about development of players, but there's no age cap. So like, let's say like someone is retiring, but they're not
9-year-old.
quite ready.
No,
you can
just
go down.
Oh, someone who's retired but they're not quite ready.
Like they're like, oh, I'm not good enough, and like I don't want to keep up with these girls anymore,
Right,
but
yeah.
I'm not quite done, and you can still have a role.
That's a
like,
good question. I don't know about an age cap because
Like it's not just for the young players. Like anyone. can
no,
do it.
yeah,
think
I don't
that's
think so.
interesting.
Dust off
But
the cleats, girl.
but yeah,
Yeah,
come
would
on.
you have done that? Would you have been like,
Absolutely
all right, I'm
not.
done? Like,
I've been like, take me out to passion and shoot
No, I'm
me,
good. I'm
which
good.
is essentially what happened. Yeah, I was like, no, we're good here.
Yeah, I
We don't
love
need to
that
drop
everyone
down.
is investing in women's sports right now. And Lauren Holiday, and her
Yes.
husband Drew from the Celtics
Yep.
are investing in the North Carolina Courage. Kelley, I have to know, as somebody who played with her and knows her, what is her soccer mind like, and what do you think she's going to bring to this team?
Listen, if anybody retired too soon, it was Lauren Chaney or Lauren Holiday. And I say that with love. She obviously was ready. And I remember her telling me when she was going to retire, I was like, there's no way. You're too good right now. Like, I don't believe you. And then she obviously did. But she was an incredible player, had an incredible soccer mind. And to have her come into the league as a partial owner of the Courage.
And advisor.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. As an advisor, like they couldn't find a better person to add to their group. There's truly, like I say that very sincerely. She is someone you want in your world, in your life, helping make decisions, helping to advise. She's fantastic. So
Yeah, I just love what her and her husband have been investing in. They've invested in people and
Right.
businesses and diverse businesses
Right.
and women's sports. And I just think that they're going to be incredible in terms of making an impact, and they actually care about where they put their money.
they are so intentional about where they go and put their money and spend their money. So and invest in,
And we're seeing this more and more now. Like Serena Williams and her husband, they're investing in so many teams.
Right.
Patrick Mahomes and his wife are like investing in teams. Like people are buying into these teams and are like, all right, let's get the hype. But like I think this so special about this is that like she has such a soccer mind and is going to be, okay, I'm bought into this and I'm also going to help with this
Right.
too.
Yeah. There you see a lot of athletes specifically buying in and investing, which is awesome. We want that, right? But to have Lauren Holiday is just a different level because of her soccer brain, her experience, and honestly just the person that she is. Like her quality of character is bar none.
That's who you want. You want to see former players as coaches, as investors,
Yep.
as owners. Why not? They're the closest to the sport.
For sure. Yeah. It's
This
great.
is probably why the Courage beat the Current this week. I'm just saying.
She's in their ear. She's like, girls, it's time to turn up.
It was like, big dog came in, let's get it done. All right.
Exactly. It's the Lauren Holiday effect, baby. It's not us talking shit. Listen,
Maybe
for
it's 50-50.
someone and
They can go for her, not you. Hey, keep away.
no, go for Ashley Sanchez. She's scored on you guys in the Stopper Tribe. No, I'm just kidding. We love Ashley Sanchez. Listen, another person who has had an amazing impact on their sport, Simone Biles. She was asked recently about competing in the 2028 Olympics. And she said, for me to come back, it would have to really excite me. What are our thoughts on this?
So Simone Biles doesn't owe us a damn thing.
That is true.
However, what an important and cool moment it would be to compete in your home country.
she doesn't owe us a damn thing, but damn, we would love to see it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And honestly, if you can and are able to still
Yeah.
perform, I personally would be like, all right,
You're like, yeah,
let me get in there.
give the people what they want.
Right?
She's incredible to watch, but she gotta be tired. Sis is tired. Like,
Sis is probably so
Sis
tired.
is so tired. And like, she's flipping around. Like, she's not just like doing a light sport. Let's throw that. She is tossing her body around. She's falling. And like, also, she's hit the highest mark. So she's like,
Right.
now I have to do something more than this. She's like,
Right.
I can only flip so many times. Gravity is a thing. And like, I'm trying to defy it right now.
Is she even training though right now? Like, do we know?
I hope not. I hope she's just enjoying her life right now.
I have no idea, but I will say, this is me speaking personally, and I kind of did this. If you have gas left in the tank, you got to
Use
put your
it.
foot on the pedal, you know? And
Use it.
I feel like she might be of that mind. Is it the best choice? No. Can I run anymore? No. But like, if she's like, I still got it, and the thing about sports is like your time is so limited and it does end.
Yes.
So if she even has maybe a little itch of being like, should I get back there? Do I want to try again? Or not even try again, but just like go out again and do what I can do. And she knows that she can. I see her coming back.
Yeah, she's the
I see it
most
too.
decorated gymnast of all time. She has nothing to lose.
She has nothing to
Literally
well,
nothing to lose.
except for if you're like, if she goes out and puts a bad performance together. But then it's like, yeah, you can, it's
But
like, what does it matter?
She still has 11
Right,
medals.
like, yeah, like for her,
pull
there's
her
already
others.
World
Yeah.
Championships.
She should go into it if she does decide to come back. No pressure. Like, go have fun.
Yeah.
Go,
Yeah.
like, pop off and have the best time because it's Olympics in LA in your home country,
Right.
and you are the best to ever do it in your sport. Go for it, girl.
I feel
Come
like
on now.
also if it wasn't in the United States, like I'd be like, nah.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
don't. But
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like
For
since
sure.
it's here, it's like okay, let me end at home.
It would just
Yeah.
be so
Victory tour.
I want her carrying the
amazing.
flag. If she comes back, she at least deserves to
Oh,
carry that
must.
flag too.
Must.
Like walk out with it. Oh, God.
Yeah, I know.
Honestly, she should
But-
just carry the flag regardless.
True. Even if she's not competing, be like, it's here.
There
Give
should
me
be no
it.
vote. There should
Yeah.
be no vote. She
Right,
gets
just let her
it.
walk
Yeah,
in.
exactly.
She'll flip at the end. Looks cool.
All right. Well, it's clear that we'd all love to see Simone one last time, but God bless that we got to see her as many times as we did. But BJ mentioned he'd love to see Midge Purse deliver the opening monologue for Chicago on May 1st as Gotham FC and the Tony Award-winning show join forces to promote Gotham FC's upcoming Broadway night game. BJ.
Honestly, this isn't even a segment. I'm looking in the camera asking, please, someone give me tickets.
I was about to say, have you gotten your ticket yet?
Please, I'm begging.
Begging. Okay,
Can you
well,
let
I gotta
them know what your email is. Just
Oh,
kidding.
I was ready.
Give us like a little performance. If you give us a little monologue, then
okay.
maybe they'll like do it.
I feel like, oh no, I don't think they're at practice today. Let's see. I want to call Midge and be like, have you practiced?
Do it.
Okay, let
I
me
would
see.
freak
Let's see if she
out.
picks up.
Oh my god,
Midge girl.
I'm of the shakes.
I'm gonna FaceTime her. Girl! I'm in the studio.
Hi, Mitch.
Say hi to everybody.
Hi.
That's BJ over there. He's obsessed with you. And
Your
it's
biggest
gonna
fan,
come
babes.
to your Broadway debut. Question, do you know what your line is? Have you practiced?
Show up to Broadway without rehearsing?
Okay, but can you tell us what your line is?
No, I need you to come to the show. Are you coming?
I'm out of town, so I can't come, but BJ wants a ticket.
Oh, I'm out of town. Oh my
I
goodness.
am. I didn't know about this until last week.
Where are you going? I didn't know about it till last minute either.
Okay, but do you have to sing or are you just saying it?
Well, I actually asked to audition for a greater part, which they said yes to, but I couldn't make the rehearsals because I have lift. I have heavy lift now.
I mean, God, like that's a soccer girl's prob right there. Wanted to be on Broadway, but had to go to Lift.
Yeah, well, so I'm not singing, but I am delivering my lines, and there might be a little bit of, choreography.
Oh my God, lines, multiple. I was told you only had one line.
Well, let's not get semantic.
Okay, but can you tell us what it is, or should you want to save it? That's fair.
No, I want to save it. I definitely want to save it.
Okay, well, you look like you're enjoying yourself, so go enjoy yourself.
Thanks, honey. Okay, well, I love your podcast.
Thanks. Godspeed. Good luck on Thursday. BJ
join
will
us, be a host.
Yeah, come on sometime if you want. Guest co-host spot
Sure. Thank you. And on Sunday, don't forget Sunday.
of the game.
Yeah, we actually play Chicago. How crazy.
Wait, that's so funny.
Isn't it? I'm surprised no one has noticed that.
Incredible branding. That just made the pod. Good job. Okay, BJ's gonna be cheering for you. He'll be bringing my energy and vibe and spirit if you can get a ticket.
Right, please, Broadway.
Fabulous.
Okay, but break a leg, but obviously do not. You know what I'm saying? But like that's what you have to say for actors. An actor. Is that what you are you a
Actress.
What do you call a Broadway star? An actor? No.
Actress.
Broadway star.
Well,
Yeah,
you're about
we'll
to
see
be.
what's title.
All right. Well, we're pumped for you. We're so excited for you, and I can't wait to hear about it.
Thank you. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't know
she's
about
so
you guys,
sweet.
but I
You
think a
freaking?
friendship just started right there.
Well, she
I
knows
could
you're gonna be in
feel
the
it.
crowd, right? Well, hopefully you don't have a ticket
Well,
yet. We'll
I don't
find
have a ticket.
We'll find one for you.
Right. I'm scrounging.
Oh my God. Okay, well that's gonna be fun. Also, yeah, more people should be talking about this. Midge is doing her Broadway debut for Chicago on Thursday ahead of Gotham versus Chicago on Sunday for Gotham's Broadway night.
So cool.
Like that is
If you're in charge of branding, go off.
Do you think they did that on purpose?
They clearly didn't because Midge said no one's talking about it yet except for us.
Well, starting now.
We are.
Good job. Oh man. All right. Well, bring a minute back to the field. We have to talk about Alana Kennedy. This
Oh
poor
my
girl
gosh.
cannot catch a break when it comes to obliterating her face. She has had so many injuries to the head. I'm concerned.
Can
One.
we get her a face mask?
Right, yeah. What happened? Alana Kennedy on Friday night, she plays for Angel City against Orlando, down in Orlando. She got an elbow to her eye, which then immediately blew up, as most hits to the head face do. Swell
never
up.
Okay, but hers does that often. Like that's not the first time.
Well, yeah, we're looking at Alana Kennedy facial injuries.
Poor thing.
And like
This was for what team
that
was
was for
that?
Australia?
Australia. Yeah.
Oh, those are Australian jerseys?
Yeah.
Weird.
That was like 2 or 3 weeks ago too.
Oh,
like
that
this
was.
was low key
Oof.
recent.
Yeah.
Like she keeps, and I was like, is she always in the right
Okay.
spot?
This one is the best one. I don't know if you three have seen this video on Instagram. It is so she broke her nose clearly.
Oof.
It's like completely crooked in this picture. In this video, she sustains a blow to her nose, bridge of her nose, and is like somebody's talking to her on the field, and there's a close up of her on camera talking to somebody, being like, is it, like I think she's saying like, is it bad or something like that to them. And all of a sudden, it's clear that her being on camera is what's being broadcast in the stadium on the big screen. So out of the corner of her eye, she sees herself on the big screen in the stadium and is like, quickly glances and sees what she looks like, and she immediately, that's her the second picture is her reaction
like,
to it, like, oh my god, like I broke my
She was pretty chill for real. Like
Honestly,
that's
yeah,
her
she was
reaction
pretty
is like,
chill.
ooh, okay, I
No.
gotta go later. But like I would be screaming, I'd be on the ground.
she's
right.
Give me
she's
a
so-
sub. She's like,
No, sub
nah,
me off.
I'm
Like she
cool.
plays through it. Girl, sub me off. I'm
Right.
going to the
Another
locker
day
room.
Give me
for her.
off.
right.
Yeah,
No, I know. Yeah,
totally.
just another day in the office.
I do this a lot.
Honestly,
No, get me off the field if this happens.
Every
I'm not
time I
playing.
see this video, I giggle. Like, hopefully, she doesn't think that I'm giggling at her breaking her nose. It's just like one of the funniest videos on the internet when
No,
it comes
she was
to.
on. I saw a TikTok of her this weekend after, and she was like wearing sunglasses. She's going to the eye doctor, obviously, and she's like,
Thank
wearing
God.
sunglasses. She's like, yeah, guys, I know you want to see it, and pulls off the glasses, and it was like ooh,
Horrific.
It was like,
Ugh.
ooh, girl.
God, dude,
But she's having fun with it.
yeah, no, she's Aussies always have fun with it.
She's
Right.
clearly doing something right, that she's always in the right spot, that she's getting hit by the ball. Like she's tall. I don't know. Like
I don't know.
She's,
Be honest,
she's doing
y'all.
well.
Broken face and eye, or other team scores. Because for me, other team scores.
Yeah, I was about to say for you, definitely.
If it's early in the season, other team scoring.
Other team scoring.
This
my
nose,
God.
let's keep it.
I will say though, I do think that her having to lead the game on Friday night for Angel City was a big reason why Angel City ultimately lost. They
To
were
my
up
team.
to your team. Go off, girl.
Go Orlando Pride.
Go Orlando Pride, dude. That was an epic game on Friday
That was a
night.
good game.
Angel City played the best half of soccer I'd seen from them, I think, ever in their history. The first half, they were up 2-0. Alana Kennedy, I think, was a big reason for that, and she obviously had to come off because of this injury. And very quickly, Orlando took
Yeah.
advantage of that.
My
So,
girls, Marta and Banda, scored 2 goals.
there you go. Yeah, somebody who's having a better time than Alana Kennedy was Paige Bueckers. She arrived in Dallas, but I will say she did have a little bit of a mishap with the cowboy hat, which made me giggle. She put it on backwards and quickly, in like the middle of an interview, and then quickly realized, I think either somebody told her she had it on backwards, or it's so good. She's looking at this hat like, what?
But can we talk
Was that the
about-
first time you think she put on a cowboy hat?
There's no way.
Maybe
I know,
the
with her
second
style,
time?
I feel like with her style, she's for sure rocked one before, right?
Yeah,
But look at
Halloween's
how-
around the corner.
Why would you want to mess up that bun? Look at how perfect it is. And I
Right.
love that she changed up her little hairstyle.
Yeah, it's
on
cute.
us.
No, but I loved this. This is reminds me of her at the draft when she got asked about barbecue versus Tex-Mex, knowing that she was going to go to Dallas. She said barbecue.
Wait, can I be honest? What is Tex-Mex?
Oh my God, you don't know?
No, like I'm so serious. I don't know what that
Really?
is.
Tex-Mex is like Texas Mexican, so it's like not fully Mexican. It has like Texas flair to it, or vice versa. It's like
Never heard
queso
of it.
dip.
No, like literally never heard of this.
Really?
No.
I guess I'm like,
everyone was
what?
like clowning her online, being like, she
Tex-Mex.
doesn't know. She doesn't
Let's
know.
see
And I was
what
like,
is the actual definition of Tex-Mex.
Blend of Mexican and Southern American features originally characteristic of border regions of Texas and Mexico.
There
So
you
it's a
go.
blend.
Tex-Mex.
never heard of it.
Yeah.
I like this from Paige though, because like she's so rizzy and she's so
Oh.
freaking cool.
She
But
is
like
cool.
this is the first time we're seeing her kind of like, okay, like a little shy, like, oh, I did something wrong. Like she's been so comfortable at UConn, and she has so much riz that it's like, okay, oh no, I don't know Tex-Mex. Yeah, my cowboy hat's on backwards, but it's like endearing. I'm almost like, oh, my heart. Like,
No, it is so cute.
oh, I'm like, oh, your hand. Okay.
She still looks good.
She still looks great.
Honestly,
she's like playing it off so well.
Hat backwards or forwards, yeah.
She can do whatever she
looks
wants.
great.
She's Paige Bueckers.
No,
And
I
I'm
know.
loving
It's
the new
cute.
social media stuff. Like they're starting to post like TikToks together, the team,
Right.
and people are in the comments being like, Paige made friends. It's so cute.
Well, hopefully Paige will be as welcomed as Caitlin Clark has been in Indiana. She had some fun in the crowd of, this is a Pacers game, right? So if you're watching, you can see this video, but if you're listening, she was doing the t-shirt toss which I love as a fan. I always try to get one. But she fakes out this fan in front of her who like goes for a t-shirt. She does a little 1-2, but ultimately gives the fan the t-shirt. But listen, my biggest question is who would win in a t-shirt throwing contest, Kelsey Plum or Caitlin Clark?
Kelsey Plum. Kelsey Plum.
No
Kelsey
question.
Plum
Kelsey.
has a cannon.
Every time
look at that.
Every time I see this video
The
on the
form,
internet,
let's throw
which
that
is
out there,
Kelsey
too.
Plum.
Going and going.
This
and
this is San
going.
Antonio.
We
Every
haven't
time I
seen
see this
Caitlin
video,
do that.
It's in the
No.
rafters.
I
And
mean,
that's an old video too.
You guys-
like that's old. Like
No, I
she's
know.
only gotten stronger
Oh, for sure.
since then. Like she's put on at least 10, 15 pounds of muscle. Like, yo, Kelsey Plum's arms are yacked.
she's
Like,
thrown it
yoked.
out of the arena at
Oh
this
my
point,
God.
probably.
And Caitlin Clark, she's putting in her arm workout. Don't get us wrong. Like
For sure.
she's looking a lot better now on her arms. Like they're
sure.
really getting beefier. But like Kelsey Plum has years on her with this.
I don't even know how this is possible. Like,
Right.
I don't know if anyone could.
You see the form, the foot drag.
Yeah, like
she
this
was
is.
taking it.
It really. I'm like, is this? It seems like it's a optical illusion.
QB1.
with
I
how-
have a good idea. I feel like we should try to do this at a Gotham game.
Oh my God! Yes, to see who gets the farthest.
Guys, I'm gonna lose.
No, my throwing ability is comically bad.
No,
so
I
we
don't
should
know.
do
I don't
this.
believe you.
No, you guys, I swear.
Really?
Yes, it's really bad. I don't know why. It used to be better.
Well, your foot power was better, so you had to like balance.
Oh, you could
out.
kick
That's
it.
true.
You can't be both.
Yeah, you could punch
No,
it.
I did.
Yeah.
So I went to a Mavericks game once, and they had me kick little balls into
They
the
did?
stands, and I got really nervous that I was gonna miss one because
You
they
have
were
footage?
little. I'm sure I do somewhere, but I was. But it was a little. It was like weirdly nerve wracking. I was like, what if I mess up? Because I was like in sneakers, not like whatever. Anyway,
Did you miss? Did you miss any?
No, thankfully I didn't.
Oh, flex.
But honestly, I could not kick a ball as far as Kelsey Plum sent that.
Mm-mm.
At least a
Form.
mini ball.
No, I would be posing as if like I'd be throwing them to the fans in the front.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to play it off.
Find the kids, toss them to the kids
Because I
down
know
low.
I can't throw it
Here
that far.
Here you go.
All right, going from launching t-shirts to hard launching relationships, Rakia Jackson hard launched her relationship with James Pierce Jr. while supporting him during the NFL draft. She was having some fun with it post draft for her showing up next to him, where she tweeted, "So I have a doppelganger." Wow, which I loved this by
No,
her.
and this is why I love women's sports and like the fan bases, because literally it's been 3 days, 4 days. Already, every single time she posts something now, everyone's in the comments like, "Dang, your doppelganger getting crazy." It's so funny. Like they just catch on to the jokes
It's
so
so
fast.
good.
And they were asking, the fans were asking, so what are the names of the boyfriends and husbands of the women athletes?
right, yeah. Don't
They
know
were just
'em.
coming up with their own names, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Raven Johnson of South Carolina, I don't know if it's her boyfriend or her friend, but she was also sitting next to a.
They were posting
Drafted
TikToks
player.
too.
Yeah, they post
Nick
TikToks. They were
Imawari.
they were doing a good dance.
So we have a second
Okay,
potential couple.
there we go.
I like that they're kind of
Doppelgangers.
gatekeeping this too. They're
Right?
like, no, I got my own clout. Like I got my own, and like,
Right.
all right, yeah, like, all right, we're two separate, but like, yeah, we're dating. Like, I'm not only because of you. I like it.
I love a hard launch selection at the like draft. You know, she just like like nobody knew about
Right.
this, and then she's just like there, and everyone's like, "Wait a second, is that who I think it is?"
And I was just like, please don't do anything embarrassing. Please don't do anything embarrassing, because that will last years. We've seen
Right.
it happen, and I'm just
Yeah.
glad it was a good viral clip. you
Nah,
know?
she crushed it, especially
Yeah.
with her doppelganger.
Yeah,
comment.
that was
It
funny.
That's
it was
crazy.
good. Yeah. Great for Kia showing us that sports are fun, obviously. Like Grady said, the storylines and just people having fun with it and people catching on to it quickly
Yeah.
on the socials. Do you know what else I found fun this past week?
Tell us.
A great stat that I can be for and I will support is seeing that Caitlin Clark was the second best selling basketball jersey in 2024, man or woman.
Not surprising.
No, not surprising at all.
Love it.
Yeah.
The only
is
one who
crazy.
outsold her was Steph Curry. Like she outsold LeBron James, Michael Jordan, like all these players. Like, yo, that's sick. And they're buying because they're like the Indian favorite jerseys are like cool, but they're not like the sickest jersey you ever seen in your entire
Right,
life.
right,
Like
right.
they're cool. I like the red ones a lot. But
The
like,
only thing that's getting people to buy it is
is
the
Clark,
Clark
on the back,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
all right, cool,
Yeah.
22, sick.
No, I agree. It's a great stat. We're here for it. Sports are fun. Can support this. That is a stat that is endorsed by Sports Are Fun. And you know who else's jersey I'd buy?
Who?
80-year-old Bonnie, who ran her 18th marathon at the
18th
Boston Marathon.
So cool.
18th, just her 18th Boston one. She's like, there's more. This is her
Wow.
18th just Boston one.
Go
And
off,
Boston's hard.
Bonnie.
You have to qualify.
You have
Like,
to.
you can't just sign up
Yeah, that's
willy-nilly.
true. I didn't think about that. Wow.
Bonnie's a big dog. Bonnie's the biggest dog there is.
Right.
Incredible. Can we get some Bonnie jerseys?
Honestly.
Her son
what-
ran like the last with her too. Like they like crossed the finish line
Love
together.
that.
Look at her
So
go.
Like that's like
cute.
really cute.
I need to
So
know. I
cool.
need to know her like supplement regimen. I need to know what she's eating. I need to know.
I need to know where she's buying that shirt. That's fun looking too.
Right? Yeah, that would make a good jersey. I like that. Wow,
What shoes
incredible.
she wearing.
Exactly.
The inserts in those shoes. Let's throw that out there.
I want to do a fun new thing where we call out some fun comments that we see from the past week on our socials. This one is from the YouTube comments. Z said, I saw someone on Twitter ask if a baby is born May 16th in Hopkins. That day, will their birth certificate say Paige Bueckers, Minnesota on it?
It should.
It should. And that would be incredible. And I love that question.
Yes.
That's the right question
That's
to
a
be
flex
asking. Yeah.
for that baby.
For sure.
Forever.
That baby will have superpowers.
They'll be really good at basketball
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
One day,
And
the
they'll have a
baby will
lot
be
of
handed to
riz.
Paige Bueckers, and she'll be like, that's their mayor.
Yeah,
Paige Bueckers.
100%. We got another great week of sports ahead for us, like the taste of the WNBA with preseason kicking off with the Wings and Aces on Friday, Fever and Mystics on Saturday, and the Sun and Storm on Sunday. Of course, NWSL keeps rolling on with the matchups like Portland versus Orlando, our friends Kansas City Current versus the Reign, and the Bay FC taking on the Wave. Also, keep an eye out. The Met Gala is on Monday. Our boy,
See you there.
he will be there. He's going to bring all of the tea and the interesting happenings from the Met Gala next week. So we're going to be coming to you next week. We'll be going out on Wednesday. We'll record on Tuesday post Met Gala. But again, like we keep saying, there is no better time to be a women's sports fan. Lean into those rivalries, lean into that banter. Have fun with it, guys. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. Thank you for being here today. We appreciate y'all, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.